I'm Effie, this is What Effie Reads, and this past weekend I went to YALC. I had intended to do a vlog, but I was struggling to figure out what to film, when to film, that kind of thing. So instead you're gonna get vibes, and then at the end I will talk through my thoughts and feelings about YALC and some of my highlights. But before I get into the video, I just want to say to that person that recognised me from my videos and came up and said hi, thank you so much. I'm sorry I didn't get your name, but it meant the absolute world to me and completely made my day. So thank you from the very bottom of my heart. Love you. hope you enjoyed that. I hope it made sense. But I had a really amazing weekend. Like, it was just so magical in so many different ways. And if I'm honest, probably there was only a few kind of meh moments. The first of which that I am incredibly shy and socially awkward. And I also have trouble like understanding social interactions. Like, I won't know how to like start a conversation or how to like go up to people and be like, I'm at YALC on my own, can I hang out with you? And that's even with people that like I've been speaking to online for ages. As you possibly saw, like on, I think it was day 3 of my like clips, I did end up hanging out with a group of people, and you see like a lot of the like the UK smaller booktubers. You've got Becca Fowle, you've got Liv, I think Lisa was in that clip, there's Chloe, Persistent Bookworm. Like, a lot of these people that like I've had interactions with online in the past, but I'm like, am I okay to go up to them? And obviously I was, obviously, but it took me half a day to get to that point. And up until that point, I just wasn't having fun. And I basically said to myself, you're not having fun. Just go sit over there, because this is going to be a horrible weekend if you don't just go sit. The worst that happens is that you don't get to hang out with them. That's fine, but at least you're going to have a bit more fun than you are right now. I got to meet Spoobs, Ro, loads of people. Absolute joy to meet these people that I've been watching online for ages. The kind of the second not so great thing, and this is nothing to do with who she is as a person or an author, but I was a little bit underwhelmed by my interaction with Jacqueline Wilson. But I think that was because they just massively miscalculated how popular she was going to be. I don't know if it's because Jacqueline's only really up for 1 hour of signing, which is perfectly acceptable. But if that's the case, don't give out hundreds of tickets. Because I think in the end, she got through, I want to say it was like 180 people in 1 hour, which is a lot. So even Alice Oseman, who got through 400 in, I want to say their slot was 2 hours, but I want to say they were actually signing for 2.5. And Oseman got through 400. So you can kind of see that basically they got through like a similar amount, but it was just so different. I think maybe Wilson wasn't properly told what to expect. Maybe the organisers had decided like this is what was going to happen, but things weren't fully communicated, and it ended up that some people got dedications, some people didn't, and it was very much like wham bam, thank you ma'am, which is absolutely fine. And again, I am not for a moment criticising Jacqueline Wilson. Like, I do not hold it against her that it was very much like sign on your way. You know, we're not paying extra for these signings, they're all added bonuses, etc. But I think for me, I went there wanting to get one of my books rededicated because I changed my name a few years back. And when I met Jacqueline Wilson as a child, obviously my book was dedicated in my previous name. So I decided in my head that if there was a limit of one book, fair enough. But the one thing I wanted was my book rededicated. I didn't mind about getting it signed because it was already signed. I just wanted it rededicated in my new name. And unfortunately, what ended up happening was, like, thankfully I got Jacqueline Wilson to cross out my name, but My book is now double signed, but not dedicated. And, you know, it's a shame, but also because it was very much bang, 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 I didn't feel like I got the opportunity to fully explain that. But that's on me, because that's an expectation that I set in place. And that's not like, I don't know how to explain it, but basically, like, it's on me that I'm disappointed about that. And I think the final big, like, negative of the weekend was the journey back. So my journey is about 7 hours. I do have to get into Aberdeen to catch my train. But if you're talking about like literally the train journey from Aberdeen to London, it's around about 7 hours if you take a direct train. And I deliberately booked a direct train. One, because I knew that I was going to be coming back with a lot of books, and two, because I just want to sit down, settle in, and know that once I'm on the train, I'm on my way home and there's no faffing around, no worrying. Now, what I will say is I know disruptions happen, it's perfectly acceptable, like, it's life, it's the trains. But we ended up hitting 3 different disruptions on the train, which resulted in massive delays. What really annoyed me was that throughout our train journey, we were repeatedly reassured this train is a hybrid train, these disruptions will not affect you, we will be going all the way to Aberdeen. And we had repeated time and time again reassurances. And then we get to, so we leave Berwick, we don't have another stop before Edinburgh, and we're having like stop after stop after stop, like just constant delays. Fair enough. We look on our trackers on our phone, it says the train's cancelled. No announcement on this thing. So we're on this train, we are seeing on our phones that this train is cancelled. We're not told that it's been cancelled. And it ended up happening that maybe 5 minutes, if we were lucky, before we got into Edinburgh, they made an announcement on the train. Oh yeah, by the way, this train's cancelled now. We're not going on to Aberdeen. You're all going to have to get onto another train that has been hit by delays that's come all the way from London. So basically, you have a full train's worth of people that was standing room only having to board onto another train that was also standing room only. And I was not comfortable. I still wear a mask pretty much all the time. It's only when I feel comfortable around you that I will take my mask off. And even then, you know, I feel like it's very limited situations that I will take my mask off. And I'm forced onto this train that is standing room only. And to add insult to injury, so in the end, our delay ended up being 4 hours? No, longer. So I was originally meant to get into Aberdeen station at 9:15. I got into Aberdeen at 2:01, and I was meant to have a connection to get me home. They did not put on any service. There was no way of getting people who had connections to get home. And just to make it that little bit worse, they locked us into the station. So ended up that these people literally had to like rip open the fence because we were locked in the station. No one around, no one caring. Absolutely disgraceful. Thankfully, I had an absolutely amazing weekend, and I haven't let it overshadow it, but oh, what an ordeal to get home again. But let's end the video on some positives. So, as I've said, I met some amazing people. I met booktubers. I met just random bookish people. It was absolutely amazing. A really brilliant event. Lots of fun. I also got to meet Hannah Murray, who has been in Skins and Game of Thrones. I felt like I owed it to my younger self to get a photo op with Hannah Murray because I just absolutely loved her as a teenager. I also had a lot of fun chatting with all kinds of bookish folks in the lines as we were queuing to get signed. I did think that the organisation of the event took a few days to get actually organised, but by the Sunday it was fairly well organised. I ended up coming home with significantly more books than I went down with, but that's fine. A lot of the books I didn't end up paying for. They were ARCs or they were just given out. And now I've just got an even bigger TBR, but I'm excited to read all of these books. I also had some really amazing interactions with some of the authors. A lot of people commented on my t-shirt that I was wearing. I had this like dinosaur with a non-binary flag as the colours, and it said non-binosaurus, and a lot of people seemed to really love it. I got a lot of compliments on my hair. I am loving it, to be honest, and it was really nice to meet all of these authors. I think my favourite author interaction was probably with Benjamin Dean, who, when he saw my annotated copy of The King is Dead, he was just so happy. It was such a beautiful moment, and as you saw in the clip, he actually wrote in my book, "Thank you for making my dreams come true," which I think is so beautiful and so touching and just made me really happy. But I also really enjoyed speaking to Juno Dawson. She is incredibly sweet, and despite having a very, very long line, she also took the time to talk to every single person and really have that positive interaction with everyone that was in her queue. She also did this fun thing when she was signing the books, that she basically figured out what kind of witch she would be, because her upcoming release is Her Majesty's Royal Coven, which is all based on witches, and I thought that was a really fun touch. I don't know, I just had really good interactions with all of the authors. Like, even with Jacqueline Wilson, which, whilst it didn't go quite how I anticipated, it was really nice to see her. Like, she is a part of my childhood, and I just got such mad respect for her. I just had such a lovely, lovely, lovely weekend. One of the most amusing parts to me was as I was lining up to meet Kat Delacour, the author of With Fire in Their Blood. She was signing limited edition prints to do with her latest book, because obviously her book's not out until September. And I was in the line and I was saying to her editor how much I really wanted to read With Fire in Their Blood, and how it was the one arc that I came to YALC wanting to get. And she basically said, "You're going to get it. I feel like you're going to get it." And it was the strangest thing. So the way the arcs were given out was a raffle where you had to physically be there. So I went along, and obviously as every number's being pulled out, I'm like, it's not my number. I'm not going to get it. They pulled out the final number. It wasn't my number. And I was, I could feel my heart sinking, because I was like, yeah, I didn't get it. And then the person whose number it wasn't there. So they ended up having to pull out another number. And it was my number. So the very last number they pulled out for the one arc that I wanted from YALC, and it was my number. So I actually got an arc of With Fire in Their Blood, and I am so overjoyed to have managed to get that arc. It just makes me so, so happy. And the way that Penguin were doing with the ARCs was that they actually had the authors there for the raffle draws. So you were able to get your ARCs signed there and then by the author. So I have a signed ARC of With Fire in Their Blood, and it just such a lovely way that all came about. I don't know. I'm still on a high. Had a fantastic weekend. I loved meeting everyone, and I'm already looking forward to next year. I will have a haul of the books and some of my favourite goodies that I picked up at YALC coming on Saturday. But that's all I've got for this video. So please drop me a comment down below. Let me know what you thought of this video style. And if you're at YALC, tell me your favourite moment. If you saw me, let me know, because I feel like I met an awful lot of people. And until next time, bye!
There's a place in